All right, folks, welcome back to the TNT show. We just came off of another weekend of I do this every single episode. Another week of NFL football. I gotta stop saying weekend. That's so bad. Um, but yeah, still, teams looking to make those playoff pushes. Other teams are still struggling, of course, and we just gonna get into all that. So I'll go ahead and let Tyler take it away.
Okay, yeah. Like you said, a couple teams pretty much knocked out of the playoffs. It's pretty much their season's pretty much done. There's pretty much no chance for a lot of these teams. Um, some teams, hey, they're playing really good football right now. Let's start off with the. Let's just start off with the Chiefs and the Bills. Chiefs took their first loss. How do you think that affects them?
I mean, it's the first loss of the season. They're still in the driver's seat for, the one seed in the AFC. So I think you regroup. Yeah, you took the loss, but I mean, given what their team looks like, they're missing some, major key pieces. I think they definitely need to, like I said, just regroup. Obviously, it's one loss. You take that on the chin, but just, watch film, see where you can make improvements. And
This was
just,
a game that their defense just couldn't bail them out.
yeah, there you go. That's a good way to look at it.
I mean, Josh Allen breaking off that big run hurt. Obviously that was the nail in the coffin. There wasn't enough time.
Yeah.
But, their defense just couldn't really slow the Bills down enough. To be honest, they hung in there as long as they could.
Do you think a mobile quarterback is a threat to them going into the playoffs based on what Josh Allen did?
If their offense can't figure something out. Because if you
Yeah.
think about it and you look at it, the Chiefs aren't really scoring a whole lot of points. But their defense is preventing people from scoring. So, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe if they can't slow the opposing team down, yeah. I'm not going to sit here and say the Bills just went out there and wore them out for four quarters, but hey, when the going got tough, Josh Allen just put the team on his back and just took off running, and it was stop me if you can.
Yeah. I mean, I it's hard to bet against the Chiefs even if they're injured and whatnot. So I think as long as they make the playoffs, the three-peat is it's still pretty realistic. I wanted to say it wasn't like all season, and I feel like I was really kind of just being biased against them because it's the Chiefs. It's kind of like the
But it's
Patriots.
good to take the loss now than
Yeah, yeah,
later in the season where you can implode. You don't want to come off a heartbreaking loss and then go into the playoffs not like mentally ready. So yeah, I think that you got beat by a good Bills team. It's not like you got beat by I don't know Carolina or something like that. You got beat by a really good Bills team that's realistically lost two games. So it's not like they're a bad team. Josh Allen is playing really well right now. So another team that I don't know what's happening is Atlanta. I don't know what's going on there. They
Mm,
they this is back to back weeks where I don't think they've scored a touchdown.
So with the back-to-back weeks, who are the two teams? I know they lost to the Saints,
It
and
was the
then who?
It was the Saints and the Broncos.
Now the
No,
Saints.
they scored a touchdown in the Saints game, but I think it's only been like one. I don't know. These are back to back weeks that they've played pretty bad.
Yeah, I'll give the Broncos credit for the Broncos game because you got to think Broncos have a very stout defense.
Yeah,
In the Saints game, I think they got caught slipping in that Saints game because I think that Saints game was a game they should have won.
They got dominated in the Broncos game. It was
Yeah,
bad.
that
I'm
Broncos
not gonna lie
game,
to you. Bo Nix might win Rookie of the Year. He's playing really good right now.
I was looking at the stats, and I'm not gonna lie to you, Jaden Daniels is probably gonna get it just because he's. I think if, like I said, if he keeps going at the trajectory that he's going, he'll win it only because he'll end up with way more rushing yards than Bo Nix will.
Yeah, I think it's between them two. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with the Falcons. They got to get it figured out. Um, I mean, they put Michael Penix in. I mean, it was mop up duty, but they still did it.
How'd he look?
It was late in the game. I don't think he played very. I didn't watch the game to be honest. I'm just going off score here.
Okay, I got you. I got you. All right.
Um, Another really good game. That Pittsburgh Steelers and Ravens game was a good game. That's what you want to see. That was a good game.
Yeah, I think the AFC is looking like a tough conference playoff wise this season. I mean, I think anybody who gets hot at the right time could probably make a Super Bowl run.
The
Just about
fact
like
that the Steelers held the Ravens like that and kind of controlled them, I think the Steelers might make a run with that defense.
yeah, like I said, I mean, if you like I said, if you getting hot at the right time, I mean, they look good. The defense is playing great. Offense is
It's okay.
offense is yeah, it's okay. It's not outstanding by any means, but I mean, they still win. They're winning football games.
Yeah.
So if they get hot and they just like I said, they catch that hot streak going into the playoffs. I mean, they can make a
They
run.
haven't lost a game with Russell Wilson yet,
Yeah.
right?
Well, hold on. We'll fact check that. We'll fact check it.
They lost two in a row with that's why they started Russell Wilson, right?
Yeah. Which again, I'm not gonna get too far into that, but I still think Justin Fields got the short end of the stick. Which
Yeah, they got beat by the Cowboys. They lost back to back weeks. They lost to the Colts and then the Cowboys, and then Russell Wilson stepped in when they played. No, he stepped in when they played the Jets because they scored
yeah,
40 points. So
yeah,
yeah, they haven't lost a game with Russell Wilson. So obviously you're going to roll with they're kind of on a roll. They haven't really beat that Baltimore win was huge, obviously, because I mean they're a really good team.
yeah. I mean, I've been saying all season I thought Baltimore was definitely the favorites, but I don't really. It's hard for me to say who's a favorite outside of the Lions, which I'm pretty sure we'll get to them at some point in the podcast. But I mean, the Lions they look like the best team in the NFL right
Yeah,
now. I mean, they
we
look
can just
like
jump to them right now.
yeah, they look like they're on a mission. Like they really
Yeah,
want to get back. They want to get back to that conference championship, get over that hump, get
yeah,
to the
they beat
Super
the
Bowl.
brakes off the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Now
Now,
it's
don't get
the
me wrong.
Jaguars.
Yeah, yeah, they're not good at all. I mean, I don't know what they do moving forward, but the Lions, like I said, they're locked in.
Yeah, I mean they've been beating the. I mean the closest game they've had was the Texans in a little bit, to be honest. Other than the Vikings was a close game, but they've been scoring 40 points on some people. So, and they have a pretty favorable schedule coming up. They got the Colts, the Bears, and the Packers will be a good game. The Bills will be a good game. But other than that, I mean, they just got to get through the Bills because they play them. They got to get through the Bills. That'll be a tough game, but that might be a Super Bowl game right there. Them and the Bills.
Could be.
But yeah, they're playing really good football right now. They just got to hope Jared Goff doesn't turn into Jared Goff. He can't like fold under
Yeah,
pressure like
that
he did in that Texans game and throw five interceptions because a good team will beat them. The Texans just weren't at full capacity with their players. So, um,
yeah. What? honestly, and I'll be honest, I think he could get away with having a bad game in the playoffs just because of how good their defense is.
Jumping from them, the Bengals and the Chargers again. The Bengals are done. Their season's over. Um, that loss, there just ain't enough games. This is their defense. I mean, I won't get much into them. It's just their defense. I think the defensive coordinator is probably going to get fired. I mean, this is the best season out of Joe Burrow that honestly he's had since he came into the league. And Jamar Chase is cooking. T. Higgins was back and had over 150, almost 150 yards and a touchdown. And Joe Burrow threw for 350 again and still got beat. So there's no excuses there. But hey, hats off to the Chargers because they're playing pretty good football, and I wasn't expecting that considering kind of who they have on their team. Um, Jumping to the Texans Cowboys won't touch here much. Cowboys just suck. Joe Mixon scored 3 touchdowns, 20 carries, 109 yards. I mean, Cooper Rush threw for a bunch of yards. They just couldn't get in the end zone.
Sounds like Dallas, if you ask me.
But yeah, that's pretty much all that we have on the recap, I think. I mean, the Packers beat the Bears. The Packers still own the Bears. The Bears just got a field goal block. They can't catch your break, man.
Do you think they
They
should
can't
bench
catch your
Caleb Williams?
break. Absolutely not. It's not his fault. He's getting killed. He is running for his life. It's not his fault.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, the Commanders Eagles, that was pretty good game. The Commanders just don't have enough defensively to stop anybody. And they can't they're stalling on offense. Like they're good till they get to the red zone. They just can't score.
Yeah,
Kicking field goals, kicking field goals. Yes, it'll win you some games, but you're going to have to score some points to beat some of these teams.
yeah,
I mean,
definitely. You
Saquon
can't.
Barkley kind of had a field day, so
Yeah, you can't really beat a lot of these teams kicking field goals. I mean, that's just it's not gonna cut it.
you can if you have a good defense, but Commanders don't have a good
Yeah,
defense.
yeah. They just
So
mm,
this leads me to my first question. Um, what's going on in Baltimore with Justin Tucker? He went from being the
I
best kicker to I don't know he's bad.
maybe he's just an off year for him. Everybody's due
It could
for at
be
least
that. It
one.
could be age. I mean, he's been in the league for 12 years.
Yeah,
Did he get hurt? Do you know? Did he get hurt last year or no?
I want to
I feel like he
say
got hurt.
I want to say he did. I could be wrong though.
I thought maybe he got hurt. Maybe it wasn't last year. Maybe it was a couple years ago. But I feel like he got hurt recently. But
I mean, regardless, he's still one of the best kickers around the
I
league
mean,
for sure.
I don't. Not right now. He's not. He's like one of the. He's terrible. He's missed
Well,
a
yeah, but
bunch this year.
like I said, it's probably just an off year. I mean, given his track record, he's been really good for a really long time. So maybe it's just an off year. Who knows? Maybe he just fell off the cliff that you really won't know
Because
until.
he kind of I wouldn't say cost them the Steelers game, but he missed some field goals in that game. I think. I don't know. I don't know what it's been, but he's missed a bunch this year, and that's usually not him because he's usually Mr. Automatic, but he's missing from all over the place.
Yeah,
Um, Next question. What was my question? My mind just went blank.
I think it was the question about the teams.
Oh, or who are your biggest surprises? Like who's doing well and who's doing bad that you're just surprised that oh this team's really like doing bad. But you're
So
just kind of shocked that there's I'd say having a down season.
I'm gonna go bad team first, and obviously It's pretty obvious. The Jets. I mean, that team was really good on paper. You got a two-headed monster running back. You have the skill players. You even went out and got Devontae Adams, a player that Aaron Rodgers is comfortable with,
They
and
still can't
they're
win games.
still bad. I mean, that defense has been so good every single year when they were bad, and now that they have a solid roster, it's like the defense wasn't doing
Fell
too
off.
much
I
more to
don't know
help
what's
out either.
happening.
So that pretty much sums up the Jets. I'm not going to get too far into them. Now, the team that I'm kind of surprised is doing really good is the Chargers. And I say that because you got to think they traded away Keenan Allen. They're a really young football team, basically.
Yeah, they traded away Mike
Um,
Williams. Everybody. They got rid of their
yeah,
whole team. Gerald
they
Everett's gone.
Austin Eckler was gone. They brought in J.K. Dobbins, who the Ravens just, I'm pretty sure they cut him. And he ended up signing over there. They brought in Lad McConkey from Georgia, so it's a very young football team. And for them to be sitting at what 6-3, 7-3, they're doing pretty good.
Yeah, they're 7-3. Yeah.
So that was my surprise on that one.
My team that I'm going to start my best first. I'm going to go the Denver Broncos. Um, they're playing really good. Yes, they're 6-5, but I mean, Bo Nix is, like I said earlier, playing like rookie of the year. To be honest, he's playing really well. This Broncos team is exactly what Sean Payton wanted with Russell Wilson. This is what he was looking for. Yes, they're not, and Bo Nix is doing it with kind of nobody. If you want me to be honest,
Yeah,
he's
I mean
got one good receiver. Other than that, they're I, their defense is a bunch of just kind of nobodies. Other than Pat Surtain, it's people
well,
you've never
I
heard of.
wouldn't really say nobody's or anybody we've never heard of because you got to think we're not big fans of a lot of these other teams other than ours, so we're not gonna know every single person that's
I mean, even they've said it on TV that Denver, like, you go pull up their roster and be like, who are these people? They just don't have like a big name person. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I get what you're saying. I'm just saying if we went through like the Broncos, like defensive starters, players, whatever, I'm pretty sure there's a handful of guys on that team outside of Patrick Surtain, who's obviously a big time corner, that we would probably know.
Right. For my bad team, I'm gonna go with two. So I'm not being biased. I'm gonna start with Dallas. I know they've had a lot of injuries, but man, 3-7. This was a 12-win team last year, and they are god awful. This is the worst Dallas
They weren't
team that,
really.
and they weren't much better with Dak.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, even before all they got hit with all the injuries, they still weren't really that good. I mean, defense wasn't that good. Offense
Well,
didn't
their
look that
defense
great.
kind of got hit with injuries. Like they were without Micah Parsons and uh whatever their defensive tackle's name is. My mind went blank. I can't think of his name, but their defense got hit with injuries. But still, I mean, maybe. But with them back, hey, they still got destroyed. I mean, I know their offense is terrible right now. They don't have Dak, but still, they were. I mean, they only won 3 games with Dak. So, but like I said, if
Exactly.
your defense can't stop anybody, it doesn't matter what your offense is doing. Because
Exactly.
if your offense sputters or can't score or something, your defense can't stop anybody, then it doesn't matter what you're doing.
Yeah, that's
That
true.
leads me to my next one, the Bengals. I don't know what they're doing. Their defense just sucks. I mean, Joe Burrow, if you flip their record from 4-7 to 7-4, Joe Burrow's in the MVP race. He's number one. If the roles are if their win and losses are flipped, he's winning MVP if they're 8-2.
Yeah, there was that stat that I was talking about. I think he's second in NFL history for quarterbacks to throw for 300 plus yards and like 3 plus touchdowns and still lose.
Yeah, I don't know what else to tell them. Defense.
Yeah, it's definitely not
What
the offense. I mean,
we'll jump to another question, then we'll jump to this week's thing. Out of all the rookies, who's surprising you the most?
oh, Bo Nix, hands down. I mean, everybody, or honestly, from my expectations, I didn't think that he would look as good as he's looking right now, which, I mean, you can attribute that to, the team that's around him and the coach. He has a really good coach. He's in a good organization.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. I'm gonna do a little twofer. I'm gonna say Bo Nix, and I'm also gonna say my mind just went blank. I'll just go Bo Nix right now. I'll do the next one. My mind went blank. I don't want to ramble. Yeah, Bo Nix. Yeah, he's playing really well. Um, he's like I said, this is what Sean Payton wanted. Exactly what Sean Payton wanted. Let's jump into next week. Thursday night, we got the Steelers and the Browns. That probably won't be much of a game. Steelers will probably should beat them convincingly. It is a rivalry though. It's a big rivalry. Hopefully nobody gets hit in the
Yeah,
head with a helmet.
you
Hopefully they
could
don't. Hopefully he don't club Russell Wilson.
you could see prime Jameis Winston throwing for 400 yards and maybe 4 or 5 touchdowns.
I mean
You never know
he's
with
been
him.
cooking. They just can't really score. I mean he's throwing for a bunch of yards, but yeah, I'm gonna go Steelers here. It might be close. It's like I said, big rivalry, but Steelers should win that easily. Vikings Bears. I think that's got the potential to be a good game. The Vikings are kind of sputtering here. Sam Darnold's. I wouldn't say he's playing terribly, but something's happening. They're winning games though. They're finding a way. I think it's teams locking down Justin Jefferson because he hasn't scored in a couple weeks. He only has 5 touchdowns on the year. He's got the yards.
Um,
He's just not getting in the end zone.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if he just had a great start or what, but like you said, they're sputtering.
Like you said, maybe it's the pressure getting to him.
He's just trying to figure it out.
I'm still going to go Vikings here. I like the Vikings. Their defense is really good. The Bears' offensive line obviously is trash. So the Vikings may have a field day on the Bears. This could be another big sack game for Caleb Williams, to be honest, because the Vikings were tearing up. Who did they play last week? The Titans. They were tearing up Will Levis.
Yeah, I mean, based on how Chicago's offensive line is, I think the Vikings could have a big day defensively.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. The Vikings defense is really good. Yeah, the Bears are gonna have to figure something out. Uh, Detroit and Indianapolis. I can't really not pick Detroit. They're playing really good. I don't see the Colts beating them. I will say this: Anthony Richardson played a lot better game. Maybe this is what he needed. Maybe that's what he needed was being benched. You know, a little reality check. Hey, man, if you can't get yourself figured out and you can't make things work or make whatever happen, man, we'll find somebody else, man. That ain't a problem.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, I'm trying to look at the bigger picture. It's just one game. So let's see if the consistency is there. Let's see what he's looking
Yeah,
like
against a good
in the
team.
in this week's game. Yeah, let's see what he's looking like in this week's game. And then, the week after that, like can he really string together a good run of games? Kind of like how since Bryce Young got benched, he's played pretty good with really nobody. So
Yeah,
I'm trying to
yeah.
look at it like that. I don't want to just get fixated on one game because,
Well, they play
you
they
know,
play the Chiefs this week. So
exactly.
what if
If
they
Anthony
stun the
Richardson,
Chiefs?
I, I honestly I wouldn't put it past him. I mean, Anthony Richardson, like I said, when he's at his peak, he's really tough to
No, no, I'm talking about the
defend.
Panther. I'm talking about the Panthers stunning the Chiefs. They play Sunday.
Okay. What? I don't see that happening. I just don't think they have enough to get that one done.
Cowboys, Commanders. The Commanders should be able to handle the Cowboys easy.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Uh,
Like you said, the defense isn't all that
yeah,
great.
but the Cowboys
So
don't have much of on offense. They should be able to handle them pretty easy. Yeah, they might score, but Jaden Daniels and their offense should be able to eat the Cowboys alive.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
49ers Packers, that's got the potential to be a pretty good game. I'm going to lean Packers there. 49ers are, I don't know, they're kind of right now. They're like, I don't know. They're kind of they haven't quite figured it out yet.
49ers, I'm pretty sure if I'm not mistaken, I saw Brock Purdy was on the injury report.
Yeah. I don't know what
I don't know if he's
happened
ruled
there.
out or if he's gonna play or what, but I mean honestly, if he doesn't play, then I don't see the 49ers winning that game or even
Oh,
really
no,
having
yeah. If he
a
don't play,
chance.
they're not going to have a chance. You never know, though. You never know. You never know. I'm still going to lean Packers there. It's at Lambeau. Um, I'm going to lean Packers there. Um, we got the Eagles and the Rams. That's got the potential to be a pretty good game. The Rams are playing pretty good football right now, but the Eagles are until somebody can slow down Saquon Barkley. The Eagles are going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, if you can't really stop him, then you're gonna have a tough time trying to uh minimize the big plays from their offense because obviously he's a threat to run the ball and to catch the ball out of the backfield. I mean, they could probably line him up out there in the slot too. So
Yeah,
you know
Saquon's an all around just Swiss Army knife kind of guy. You can kind of put him anywhere. I'm
exactly.
gonna lean Eagles there. I feel like they're just a little bit too much for the Rams,
Yeah,
but
I'll
I
probably see
think
the
it'll
Eagles
be
too.
close. It just kind of depends. I'm gonna lean Eagles. They're a little bit better, a little bit. I wouldn't say more balanced, but a little bit more with Saquon running the ball. And then Monday night we got the Ravens and the Chargers. The Ravens need to have a bounce back game here. They need to win.
That's a must win
Uh,
game for them at this point. They're sitting at 7-4.
this is a
Another
divisional game
loss.
too.
Yeah, another loss just kind of it. You start to speculate like I don't know. That's why I say they were my favorites at first for sure, co-favorites with the Lions. But now I don't know because you're sitting at 4 losses now. Don't get me wrong, all of those losses were just a possession. So if they can, like I said, if they can get hot, just about
It's
any team in the AFC.
again, it's their defense. Their defense is kind of struggling. So,
Well,
like I said, if
I don't know. I mean, because that's the Steelers game. They only lost by 2 points. They just missed the 2 pointer. They didn't convert on the 2 pointer, and they held the Steelers to 18 points. So
yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
yeah,
yeah, that
there
is
are
true.
games. There have been a couple of those games and those losses where they let some teams who shouldn't have scored, shouldn't have scored a lot of points, score a lot of points. So it's the consistency of the defense. You want to see
But
them
take that with a grain of salt because Pittsburgh has a good defense.
exactly. Yeah. So I mean, it's like I said, it's a must win game for them. I feel like if the Chargers drop this game, then they're probably a little more okay because that roster is definitely overperforming
Yeah,
in a
Baltimore should be able to win this game because the Chargers'
yeah.
defense is not that great, and the Bengals kind of showed that they just couldn't stop the Chargers. But I think the Baltimore can win because first things first, run the ball, run it down their throat. I mean, I think Baltimore just needs to come out and try to overwhelm LA. I mean, they don't have a good. They're a young team. Throw everything that you can at them. How much time we got left? I got two questions for you. What's the time looking like?
Oh, we're still good.
Okay. First question, or a question for you: what happens to Daniel Jones? Where
I mean,
where do they keep? Well, I don't think you keep him. I mean, you
nah.
could.
They demoted him to QB3. They're moving on. It's a wrap for him in New York. Which, and like I say every single time when I say this, why did y'all give him all that money and then y'all are moving on 2 years later? That I think that's insane. But I think he goes to maybe a team that is that desperate for a quarterback, at least a bridge quarterback, anyways. Because he obviously, given
Do
his
you think
time in
they
New
should have
York,
just traded him?
yes, I think they should have traded him right after, either right after that, because he had the value. Because now he doesn't have the value, and he's just going to be. I mean, that's dead money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've already paid him. His contract's up.
So I mean, but still, I mean, based on
But
performance
based on
wise,
like
dead money.
what team would you what team do you see him going to?
I mean, honestly, I don't think any of those teams that are because there's teams that are desperate for a quarterback, but I don't think they're desperate enough to like take him. So he might find himself just somewhere as a backup. I don't think
Interesting.
he's going to go to another team and start. Quite honestly,
I think he could.
I don't know about that one. Just given his injury history, especially recently, and you know, poor play.
Yeah, it's that. It's that part. Yeah, you might be right. I mean, to be honest, he got his money, so if that part doesn't really matter.
Yeah, he got his.
Um,
Well,
yes, I mean he got his money, so I mean, I if I'm him, I would really wouldn't care to be honest. And if you had, it's a little off topic, not really. If you had the number one pick, what would you do with it
um, I
and
mean
why?
that's a little more situational. I need like a
Obviously,
team, I
it's
guess.
probably gonna be the Giants. So, what quarterback are you taking?
I'm not gonna lie to you. If I'm the Giants and I got the number one pick, I'd probably take Cam Ward. Which I know it sounds crazy, but I mean he's had the experience. Obviously, I don't think he wasn't in like an NFL type offense. He's more on a air raid type scheme with Miami and Washington State. So I mean, just can your skills translate to a more NFL type offense? I mean, we obviously see he can sling the football. He's mobile. Again, he's uh, a fifth year starter, so
Yeah,
he has the
it's that.
experience. Mature. He's not really young. He's like at that perfect age of he's played enough football to where he could come in and just start right away.
Yeah, it's that part. If I had to pick, I really don't know. I feel like I'd have to go Cam Ward just for those reasons. You kind of hit that on the head.
Yeah,
I mean, realistically, there's really just no jaw droppers. To be honest, I really don't know. There's no way they're going to roll with Danny DeVito or Drew Lock. I wouldn't think so.
I was surprised that they gave the spot to Drew Lock. Must have been playing pretty bad in practice for them to give the starting spot to
I
Tommy
mean,
DeVito.
DeVito kind of came in and he didn't look terrible. He looked good at first, but then it kind of fell off. Um, if I had to pick somebody, you're not gonna like my answer. If he wouldn't be a number one pick, but I might go Jackson Dart.
Oh, absolutely not.
And I here's the reason why. One, he is a very good quarterback. He's a gunslinger. He's kind of got, I'd say, you know who I compare him to? Baker Mayfield. He's got that swagger about him. You know, he's gonna give you all he's got. He's not the best, but hey, I mean, I think he's gonna be a pretty good football. I think he's gonna be a pretty good quarterback in the league if he gets the opportunity. But I don't know if I would take him first pick. If I'm the Giants and I had the first pick, I'm probably taking either Cam Ward. I'm not taking. Yeah, Cam Ward. He's about the only person because I wouldn't take Shador Sanders, but we'll save that for another day. Because personally, I don't think he's a. I'd want five quarterbacks over him.
Um, you know what? I'm not gonna get into how much. I'm not gonna touch on it right now. I'm just not gonna do it because, in my honest opinion, he's a solid top 10 quarterback for sure.
Okay, yeah, that's
Like he's
fine.
a.
That's fine. But I could name five quarterbacks that I'd rather have him than him right now.
I could bet you five they're not better than him though.
Yes, they are. Okay, we're gonna debate this. I don't know what time we got,
Just go
but
ahead. Go ahead. Give me the five. Give me the five, and I'll tell you whether or not.
all right. I'd much rather have Cam Ward.
Now, for everybody out there, this is opinion based, so don't y'all feel free to you know chime
This is
in,
just
say who
fact.
you. I'd far from it, but go ahead.
I'd much rather have Cam Ward,
That
hundred
one's fair.
percent.
That's fair.
I'd much rather have Quinn Ewers. That's 100%. Let
Okay.
me get away. Let me not go SEC here. I'd much rather have Dylan Gabriel. I don't know if he's coming out this year, but I'll give me him. Is he coming out? I think he has to, right?
I'm pretty sure he does, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of forgot about him,
I'd
and
much
that's
rather have
crazy.
Dylan Gabriel. I'd rather have Jackson Dart.
That was kind of 50-50 for me
Carson
because
Beck's a toss up because he can play really good, but then again, he can play really bad.
Jackson Dart's the same way though. Jackson Dart isn't not that very consistent. I mean, he has a lot of red flags to his game. Like the biggest one is he throws up way too many 50-50 balls. And he's been doing that since he came to college. So, but go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't want to be biased here, but I think
No,
no,
don't you? No, no. If you were
I
going to
don't
say
think
Garrett Nussmeier,
I don't
absolutely
think I
not.
could take it. I don't think throw passing wise, yeah, give me Nuss. It's just the Shador's a little bit more mobile. I'd much rather have Jalen Milrow.
I'm
It's an
honestly,
athletic standpoint.
from an athletic standpoint, of course, but let's say we're talking NFL. In the NFL,
Here's the reason why you can call me a hater, I guess. Here's the reason why I wouldn't take Nussmeier. He hadn't shown me enough. I would rather have Shador. Nussmeier throws a pretty ball, but I don't know when he panics, he looks like me out there. Here's the reason why I'm so anti Shador Sanders. I guess
okay.
he. I know it's not all him. So, but when they play somebody good, I'm going to say this every time. When they play somebody good, what happens? Go ahead and tell me what happens.
We're not gonna say he doesn't play because he doesn't always not play well. Sometimes he plays good against some of the better competition. Obviously, it might not come in the first half, but sometimes it's a tale of two halves. Like look at USC. They were down bad against USC, and then they almost ended up coming back in the second half to beat them, and he balled out. I mean, I think the worst game he probably played that I saw was Oregon, and that was last year in the Pac-12. Other than that, I mean, the losses that they had, even the losses that they had this season, he didn't play terrible.
I'm looking at their losses. So they lost to Nebraska. They didn't score in the second half. But that game
What,
was early, though. That game was early.
what
It
were
was the
his stats?
second game. Shador was let's see, 23 of 40 for 244 and a touchdown and a pick. Let me go back to the Kansas State game. Where's that at? That game was close.
Yeah, I think they lost that game by what, a possession?
A field goal, I think. Yeah, they lost by a field goal. Kansas kicked the game-winning field goal, didn't they? No, they scored right at the end. Whatever. I'm not. I mean, he threw for almost 400 yards, but it's not
Okay.
all him though. But it's hard to say. He's just. I haven't seen him take over a game. Let me put it that way. Let me put it that way. Maybe if I put it that way, it'll be a little bit easier to understand. He just hasn't taken over a game. Like full control, but I guess that's his defense can't stop anybody.
Well, honestly, I think that, and I like I said, you're entitled to your opinion, but I feel like you're kind of downplaying him as a quarterback a little bit because I think he's up there with a lot of those great talents. I mean, the only knock on him is that he's never played, which it was the Pac-12 and the SWAC, and now the
Yeah, he
Big
hadn't
12.
played nobody.
Now, since he's been in the Big 12, which is still, I mean, the Big 12 is considered to be one of its Power Four conference. They're in a Power Four conference now, and they're in the running for the conference
Yeah, but there
championship.
ain't
So,
nobody in the Big 12 even remotely good. Man, they're
uh,
going to beat BYU by 2 touchdowns, if not more than that.
they might not know. You never know.
Listen, look, the way that they did Utah, the Utah could have beat BYU.
I mean,
Colorado
yes,
is
but college football every single week is a different week. It's not going to be the same team every single week
every
in
ranked
most
team they
cases.
play. I don't think Dion has beat a ranked team since he's been there. Have they?
Uh,
I
that's
I
a
don't
great question.
I don't think so. That
Actually,
both
well,
losses this year were. They were both well.
man,
Nebraska
you might
Nebraska
be
was
right.
ranked.
You
I think
might
they
be
were
right.
ranked. They lost to Kansas State last year. We won't really count that because they were in the Big Ten, or right? Why they play Oregon and um, USC, so they were in the they're still Pac-12. I didn't mean the Big Ten. Sorry. So yeah, I mean they played Oregon and USC and got beat both times. But
Well,
I would just like to see this goes for him and Travis Hunter. They just don't play anybody. I want to. Okay, I'll change my mind if they make the playoffs and they beat a good team.
I don't think that's entirely fair to speculate
But it is
respect
though.
off of.
It is though. I think that
Yeah, but I feel like you talk like that because of the conference that you prefer. Obviously, the Big 12 is a conference where a lot of points are scored,
right
not a
now,
lot of
can,
defense
can
is played.
Colorado beat anybody in the top 12 right now?
I think so.
Who?
There's a few teams, Miami. It'd be a shootout, but I think
It'd
they
be a
have a shot.
shootout. Yeah, yeah, they might be. Yeah, because
BYU,
Miami don't play a defense.
there's
Okay,
BYU.
that's in their conference.
Uh, I'd give them a shot against Indiana, but that's just because Indiana really
I
hasn't.
don't know about that.
Indiana's undefeated, but who have they played this season? How many ranked teams have they
They
played?
play Ohio State Sunday, or I mean Saturday. So we're gonna figure out how good they really are.
Yeah, that's true. But like I said, right now, if we're
But
talking right
they
now,
just got a good defense. So pretty much that's how Miami got beat. But like I said, I aside from I don't even think they'd beat Miami. I think Miami would stop
man,
them just enough.
nah, come on now.
BYU, yeah, they might beat BYU because BYU's looked pretty bad. And they just got beat by Kansas too.
And you're telling me Miami hasn't looked bad in 3 or 4 or 5 games this season, and they just so happen to win,
Their offense is electric.
and their defense is very bad.
Yeah, but that just shows how good Cam Ward is. They've been winning
But that,
games. They just got unfortunately kind of couldn't stop Georgia Tech.
yeah, and Georgia
But
Tech
I
stopped
guess
them
I'm
enough
being
times.
hypocritical there.
Honestly, like, see, now you get it. Now you see what you sound like. Because, like I said, you look, the reason that you go about it how you go about it is because of the conference that, again, you prefer. Obviously, and everybody knows it. I don't care who you are or what you say. The SEC is the best conference in college football. Argue with somebody else, not me. That's just
Yeah,
facts.
it's not even close. Yeah,
It's a bloodbath every single year, every single week, all the way up
yeah,
until the conference championship.
yeah. Until it's over.
So, I mean, honestly, if we were to, I'm not going to get too far in it because I think we should definitely save that for another episode, ranking the conferences, the power
Yeah,
conferences, anyways. Just a short segment on that. But like I said, we'll save it. We'll save it. Let's not get too far in it because we are way off of the NFL now. We've been talking college for like 5 or 10 minutes. I don't want to take away from,
the NFL.
college
Yeah,
football episodes and stuff like that. So, um, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up for today's episode. Like always, we appreciate everybody that's listening in. Um, college football got shifted, so college football is gonna drop Thursday this week instead of today, like it normally does.
yeah,
So, just it happens sometimes. That's our schedule. You'll notice it shifts here and there. It
yeah.
depends on
We
what our
do
time is
have a
looking like.
date for our first live in person thing. First live stream, or I guess it won't be live, but face to face recording. Just a reflection on the how we got started. All the stuff that we've done, and kind of behind the scenes kind of thing. I don't know when we plan on dropping it,
It'll
but
probably drop. It'll probably drop towards the end of the year.
we're going to do it. It's set for December the 9th, correct?
Yeah,
So that will
that's when we
probably be
record.
it'll probably be a pretty big episode. So it'll be on, YouTube and Spotify. For the YouTube sense, it'll put a face to the names, face to the voices, stuff like that. It's going to be a pretty big episode. I don't think it's going to get emotional or anything like that. Um,
You
but
never
it'll
know.
just kind of
I might shed
show
a share. I
it.
might
I
shed a
mean,
tear too.
it's. I'm not going to lie to y'all. This has been hard work. I wouldn't say we've sacrificed a lot, but you know, it's hasn't been the easiest thing. We've almost not done it a couple times, but we won't get off into that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got.
All right. Well, that'll do it for us here on the TNT show. And we'll catch you on the next episode.